welcome back to Miami with Boston Celtics head coach Doc Rivers. You got off to a very fast start, making 7 of your first 8, but deflections all over the floor, 13 combined turnovers. What are you seeing, Doc?
Well, we got away from simple. You know, all we were doing was hitting the open man, and then we went to the home run pass game, turned the ball over. You can't turn the ball over against this team. You can't give them offensive rebounds. We did both of those, and that's why they're back in the game.
Doc, thank you.
All right, Doris, they started 8 of their first 9 from the field and missed their last 6. Didn't score the last 4.5 minutes of the period, and their 9-point lead cut to 1. There's Mario Chalmers in the game, brings it up. Bosch returns with the 2 fouls. Chalmers inside to Anthony. That comes up short, grabs the rebound. Joel Anthony very active, as usual, plays with so much energy.
He does, and it really is the only Achilles heel for Boston. They're just not a good rebounding team.
Bosch gets that one to go. And the Heat have their first lead after, again, trailing by 9 early.
Tough shot. It was good defense by Glenn Davis. Bosch uses length and size, able to get that shot off.
Right now, Ray Allen, the only starter out there for Boston. Green gets it blocked. It was James Jones got a piece of that one. Bosch leans in, and he'll draw the foul. Let's hear some sounds from the coaches along the sidelines.
Just settle in. What we need is shots more than anything, okay? Down there, we just got to compete and do what we do.
Every time we keep it simple, we score. When we try to thread the needle, these guys are athletes. All right? Keep the game simple. Keep the game simple.
Both teams have turned it over. Heat with 7 and the Celtics with 6.
You know, I was also thinking about, as we take a look at Doc Rivers, the effect of the Kendrick Perkins trade. This was a team that was a family, that never had to face any sort of real adversity, and they were in it together. All of a sudden, when a trade like that occurred, and you've been chanting on both teams all along, it's a shock to the chemistry and all that you've done. And it's taken them quite a while to rebound from.
And listen, the NBA, people always say it's about a business where that deflection, but it's a business, right? Well, you know that because you can be traded. People leave for free agency like James did and Bosch did, so it goes both ways. No one should be shocked when change comes. Change is going to happen in professional sports.
James Jones, no, they wave it off. They said he pushed off.
It's a great call. He kicked his leg out to try to gain more contact. I love that call. I am so tired of people flopping their way to fouls on jump shots now. That's an excellent call.
Let's take a peek. You see it.
Watch
all
how he
the
kicked
time.
with his right leg. He initiated the contact. Good call by Tony's brother.
The officials have talked about calling that more, but you don't see it that much. For that one, right on the mark. West on the fake, hop step, kicks it out. Davis, open wing shot, and Big Baby ties the game.
I'm not so sure I love the call. I would have much rather allowed a play to just go.
Well, that's because you play with Reggie Miller, and that's all he ever did. Of course you're going to say you like that. He traveled on every possession, too. So you like traveling, too?
Bosch. Too strong. Ray Allen the rebound.
Oh, Mark Jackson's gone silent now that he's been called out, huh? And how is Reggie Miller not in the Hall of Fame, by the way? Just to mention his name. Are you kidding me? Couldn't even make the finals?
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Certainly should be.
Did you see these people breaking him down, too, by the PER isn't good enough? What is that? I watched him with my own 2 eyes.
Hopefully that will be righted next year as Bosch gets knocked down. Glenn Davis picks up his second foul, and Bosch goes to the free throw line with 2.5 gone by here in the second. Our NBA calendar, NBA TV later tonight. Knicks and Pacers from Indiana. Knicks trying to figure out what seed they'll be. Indiana's the 8th seed. TNT on Tuesday, Chicago at New York. San Antonio facing the Lakers in LA. ESPN Wednesday, New Orleans at Dallas. Memphis at the Clippers, and then ABC Saturday. The playoffs begin. Less than a week to go. And as we said, all 16 teams that will be in the postseason have at least clinched a berth. But all these games this week still determining who's going to be these first-round matchups. For example, Boston and Miami, they're going to face either New York or Philadelphia, and neither will be an easy first-round matchup for either team.
And I think as a coaching staff or organization, you begin to think, okay, who's a better matchup? But you keep that in-house. I was very surprised when George Karl of the Denver Nuggets said they'd much rather play the Dallas Mavericks as opposed to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shocking admission from Coach Karl.
Rick Carlisle said he will absolutely use that for motivation. As a 3-second violation. Here you see games. Boston 3-0 against New York, 3-1 against Philly. The Heat have split their 4 games with the Knicks and have beaten Philadelphia. Miller inside, foul before the pass. Jeff Green with a hold. That's 2 on Green. Now Green, a big part of the trade. People talk about who's the best player in deals. Green may be the best player. What is he, or how has he fit in so far?
Well, I disagree. I think Kendrick Perkins was the best player. Jeff Green, listen, Boston thought they had to shore up who was going to play behind, as Anthony's fouled, who's going to play behind Pierce and Allen, because Marquise Daniels is out for the year. They felt they needed some firepower behind those two.
They'll miss Tony Allen in the playoffs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
Doc Rivers with that theme here in the first half.
Every time we keep it simple, we score. When we try to thread the needle, these guys are athletes. All right? Keep the game simple. Keep the game simple.
Talking about keeping it simple. In this situation, they go 3 pick and rolls. Nothing on the first one. The second one, another pick and roll. They don't get what they like. Move the basketball. A 3rd pick and roll out of the corner. Ray Allen does a good job. Defense comes, get rid of the basketball. And now it's ball movement and man movement. Pass. You wind up with a high percentage play. That's executing on the offensive end.
Anthony hits the shot. Joel Anthony with 5 points. He averages 2 a game. Getting some early minutes. This is a favorite of Eric Spoelstra from back when he was an assistant coach. Anthony now in his 4th year in the league. He said he's one of the most dedicated players he's ever seen. Does not have really the offensive skill, but just works so hard, as hard a worker as he's had in all his years in basketball.
One thing you don't want to have to coach is effort, energy and effort. Eric Spoelstra does not have to worry about that when you talk about Joel Anthony.
Jeff Green draws the foul on Miller, and Green will go to the line. Green playing a lot less minutes and trying to get accustomed to that than he did when he was with Oklahoma City. Of course, one of the main players for the Thunder. He was their 3rd leading scorer. When he played with them, he averaged about 37 minutes a game. He's averaging about 22. Now, how much of an adjustment is that for a player to be able to?
Well, I think coming off the bench is a huge adjustment. I think he started at the 4 in Oklahoma City because of the great Kevin Durant. And so it's a positional change, too. So there's a lot of adjustments that he's had to go through.
And I didn't like the trade for either team, to be quite honest. You just look at Jeff Green on the floor right now. He doesn't look like a confident guy. When he was in the Thunder uniform, he felt like I can score. I have a mismatch every single time down the floor. He's trying to find his way with this Celtics team, and at times even Doc Rivers admitted being too patient trying to get the ball in other guys' hands.
Miller gets that one to go. So you don't like Perkins and what he'll bring to Oklahoma City necessarily?
I like what he brings to Oklahoma City, but he's not going to be the same player because what the Celtics did was collectively. They took your will collectively. It wasn't about the individual parts. And I don't think Kendrick Perkins has the same guys that can really make an overall unit intensity-wise defensively that complements what he does.
Green draws another foul. Mike Miller picks up his 2nd, and Green's going to shoot 2 more with his team down by 3. Green's only 24 years old, just his 4th year in the league. He was actually drafted by the Celtics back in 07, but was traded to Seattle in the Ray Allen deal. And then when the team moved to Oklahoma City, played very well for the Thunder. Well, was averaging last year, averaged over 15 a game for Oklahoma City in their surprise season. Oklahoma City now battling for their playoff positioning, whether it be fourth or even third. They're only one back in the loss column of Dallas.
You wonder, both Dallas and Oklahoma City, would they rather be at 4 and play Denver, even though Denver is obviously playing great, so that the second round, their possible matchup would be San Antonio instead of playing against the Lakers?
Maybe we should wish that George Karl was one of the coaches of that team, because we know the answer.
Offensive foul as Glenn Davis draws yet another charge. He's amongst the leaders in the NBA. That's his 45th of the season. He leads the Celtics in this category.
I mean, that's a charge. That's a good call.
2 fouls on Wade.
But getting back to what you're saying, the only thing I would say sometimes, if you try to manipulate that, is be careful what you hope for and what you wish for. Sometimes it's not the same in the playoffs as it is in the regular season.
Bosh, good denial on Garnett. Delonte West finds Garnett. Blocked, but a foul. Chalmers blocked it. Now Chalmers goes to step over Garnett, and then
he did try to step over him, huh?
It looked that
yes,
way.
He did.
Somebody protecting their territory now.
It's a good pass by West. Yep.
Yeah, no question. So Garnett to the line. Celtics 7 of 8 from the line so far. Shop NBAstore.com now for the best selection of Celtics and Heat gear. Choose from jerseys, shooting shirts, hats, and more. NBAstore.com. One store, every team. Oh, Celtic fans here in Miami. Garnett, 11 points already. Crowd enjoying those misses. Just under 7.5 remaining, second quarter. Chalmers having his problems. James to Chalmers, left corner 3. Got it. Pass inside. Oh, beautiful feed. And Garnett able to finish.
And again, the Celtics, multiple pick and rolls, taking the action away and then coming back. That's great execution and a pinpoint pass.
Delonte West with a gorgeous assist. Garnett's 5 for 5. Chalmers comes right back. First a 3, then a floater. And Miami up 4. West to Garnett. Delonte West spinning. That won't go. And Anthony another rebound. 5 boards, 6 rebounds off the bench for Joel Anthony. And a defensive 3 seconds called against Jermaine O'Neal. His argument with Danny Crawford falling on deaf ears, so a one-shot technical. Chalmers will go to the line. The Heat bench, a solid job here in the first half. They've got 15 points from the bench already. Chalmers adds to that.
And really more impressive than the points is the energy and effort. Things that Joel Anthony has done in this first half. If you're Spoelstra, you got to be excited about it.
He got it going. Chalmers the last 6 points for Miami. And the Heat with a 5-point lead. Inside, a whistle. Won't go, but a foul. And Wade will get to the line again. O'Neal picks up his first.
They run a little hot cut for Wade. Good find by Chalmers. And they've been running this 4 or 5 times in a row. It's up to Boston to figure out how they want to defend it a little bit better.
Look at Wade this year. He's had a tremendous season as well, just under 26 a game, 3rd in the league, and he's shooting a career high from the field at 50%. Look at him and James. James 51%, he's shooting 50%.
And when you look at it, they're both below average three-point shooters. So Wade shoots 31, James shoots 33. So when they're shooting two-point attempts, I mean, they're knocking them down at an extremely high rate.
16-point turnaround as the Celtics are up 9. Now it's the Heat up 7. Garnett 6 for 6 from the field. Talk about a guy that's shooting well. Garnett at about 53% this year. Ray Allen on Wade. Pierce is on LeBron James. Some real fun matchups when these two teams go at it. James a drive, left-handed, misfires. Bosh gets it, has to put it right up, and a 24-second violation. Did not get it off in time. And we're going to have a timeout.
Very good first half for Mario Chalmers, getting into the thick of the Celtic defense, and a beautiful teardrop floater. It's nothing but the bottom of the net. Great minutes by the Heat bench.
ESPN.
Couple of days as the Celtics and the Heat beat for the final time of the regular season. Right now a 5-point Miami lead. Some of the leading scorers, Kevin Garnett, still yet to miss from the field. Of course, for the Heat this year, a season with high expectations, intense scrutiny. They've had their ups and downs, but they're still 55 and 24. And right now with a golden opportunity to try and get that second seed in the East if they can get a win here today. Garnett finally misses from the field. James with the rebound.
But you're right, both teams have had struggles. Boston, Miami, I would even throw LA in there. But the bottom line is they've all had great years.
Pierce, right. Pierce the strip, but James gets it back, count it, and a foul. Well, both teams really looking for strips, very active hands, and it's leading the Buckets. Heat back up 7.
And even gambling in the backcourt earlier, they did not come up with the steal. But here you see LeBron James, active hands, comes up with the steal and able to split 2 Celtic defenders getting the basket in the contact.
Well, Jeff, to continue what you're saying, you look at it, I mean, everybody has, so many teams would love to have the problems that the Celtics and the Heat have had this year. So much is expected when your end result is championship or disappointment. Even when you go 55 and 24, people like to look at all the difficulties they've had.
But you have to then lump in every team in the league minus Chicago, because every team has losing streaks.
Allen being chased by Wade. Garnett finds O'Neal. Jermaine O'Neal. Soft touch won't fall. James head down and runs right into O'Neal, and then a technical foul.
And it's the right call. Technical foul on LeBron James, throwing the ball to the body of Jermaine O'Neal, not liking the contact.
Pierce and Wade pushing and shoving each other. And a little extra activity breaking out away from the initial play. Pierce is hot. Wade is hot. Garnett getting Jermaine O'Neal out of the way.
Jermaine O'Neal body blocked James. That's a flagrant foul.
Correct.
James is going to get a technical foul, but I totally agree with what he did. You got to stand up for yourself. You get hit like that, you can't just always walk to the free throw line. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you don't. I think this was the right play. He drove it hard. Jermaine O'Neal didn't want to take the charge on that. Threw the shoulder into him.
And then James throws the ball. James got the technical for throwing the ball. O'Neal, let's see if they call O'Neal's foul a flagrant. They didn't call it initially.
Well, it clearly is a flagrant. Does not make a play on the ball.
And then after that, Wade and Pierce got into it. O'Neal going to challenge James there. Garnett trying to push everybody away. Both teams sticking up for their teammates now. They're going to look at the video and check it out. Again, we said at the top, this is not your average regular season game. It's going to be a flagrant one called against Jermaine O'Neal, and then a technical foul on LeBron James, and then I think a double technical as well.
And Udonis Haslem is into it with their team. He is like letting them know what he thinks. I can't repeat what he's saying, but it shows you what they miss in Udonis Haslem.
So flagrant call on Jermaine O'Neal. That's the right call. James gets the technical for throwing the ball, and then Pierce and Wade get double technicals for them continuing the argument afterwards, so pushing and shoving each other. So there'll be free throws for James. He'll take 2 free throws on the foul, and then they'll get possession of the ball. The Heat will also shoot 1 free throw, or the Celtics will shoot 1 free throw on LeBron James's technical.
And I think there should be a little bit more leeway given to LeBron James on that play. When you take a hit like that, to have a natural reaction when you're hit with a dirty play, I don't think necessarily you always have to call that a technical foul.
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree, because the referee's job is to take control of the situation on the floor. LeBron James has got to understand that they will take control of what Jermaine O'Neal just did. In order for them to referee this basketball game, let them do their job. But if I'm any coach, I love both angles. I like what LeBron did. I like what Jermaine O'Neal did. At some point, there's a price to pay. I even like Pierce and Wade. We can be friends afterwards. But it's coming close to playoff time, and I'm going to see you in a week or so, or in a month or so.
Here's the one thing on that. I agree with all what you said. You got to be careful not to get involved in something and say get thrown out or get suspended for a game, because the number 2 seed is still up for grabs with 3 games to go here in the regular season. And say losing your temper could cost you whether you have home court in a Game 7 in that second round, and that could mean the difference between a championship and being eliminated.
I agree with you. And you sound like some of the people who make the decisions on whether they get suspended or not, because you haven't taken a hit like this. You haven't had somebody undercut you, throw a shoulder into you. So I know what you're saying. It's the same people who get to sit in their office and say you shouldn't do it, you should always keep your temper. But I would just say this, much easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely, especially in a big high-stake game like this.
No, this is a... Mark said fine.
No, it's a dirty play.
Like,
right. If I'm on Jermaine O'Neal's team, okay, it's a dirty play, but there's a price to pay. It is a dirty play. We're willing to pay the price, and these are plays that's got to be made.
No, see, I would have rather have, I know what you're saying. I agree. I would have rather had him go up in the air and try to block the shot,
totally agree.
Take a charge, something. But I'm just saying like this. I think sometimes we give these guys with the suspensions and all this, it's bringing unnecessary, almost unwarranted attention to their, quote, lack of discipline. I don't think that was a lack of discipline on LeBron James's part. I think it's a normal human reaction. You walk down the street and you get hit like that, you're not going to just say, let the officials take care of this.
You're absolutely right, but the way the rules are, the way they're enforced, you're taking a chance.
I don't think he took a chance on being suspended. I think LeBron James took a chance on getting a technical.
No, none of that, what happened just there, would result in any kind of suspension. But what I'm saying is you start getting confrontation, all of a sudden one guy gets more heated, then a big shove comes, then another big shove comes.
And you walk a fine line in this game.
Right.
You want to always be the one getting punked, you won't be around long in the playoffs either. And if you're totally undisciplined and take unnecessary technical fouls at the wrong time, you too will not be around for long in the playoffs.
Right. And it's very easy for me to sit here and say, oh, you can't respond when you don't get whacked in the head. But it is still something that players have to think about. Bosh puts it in. Miami responds the right way. And the Heat up by 9.
I'll tell you this, Wade and James are doing an outstanding job of passing the basketball to teammates in position for them to score.
Garnett stripped, gets it back from Chalmers. Ray Allen on the 2-pointer. Only his second attempt, and he's hit both of them.
I really like the minutes that Mario Chalmers has given this Heat team. And if I'm him, my mindset is there's only one thing that Mike Bibby does better than me, and that's shoot the basketball. I'm doing everything else I can do to make sure I stay on the floor.
Moving screen. Chalmers picks up that foul. Chalmers, the starter earlier in the year. Now Mike Bibby, the starting point guard. And he's done an excellent job off the bench. Right now, rebounding numbers plus 11 for the Miami Heat. Garnett. And James the rebound.
And they just can't get second shot opportunities. It's just one and done.
James knocks down the shot. LeBron James shooting well, 5 of 7 from the field. He's got 12, lead back up to 9. Great 18-point turnaround.
Great screens being set by Joel Anthony, too. Getting airspace for his perimeter play.
Miami shooting 59% from the field. James harassing Pierce. Davis with the shot clock winding down, trying to duck up and under. Tough shot over Bosh.
Coach, I can remember saying this a year or two ago, but this defense that the Heat have played the last couple of minutes has been a thing of beauty.
Absolutely. This has been an underrated defensive team all year.
Chalmers. Ball tipped out by Joel Anthony. Chalmers will try again. That's a three. Joel Anthony's hustle, giving him another opportunity, and Chalmers takes advantage. It's a 10-point lead. Two minutes remaining. Pierce blocked from behind. James threw it away. Ball still loose. Rondo comes up with it, trying to find an opening. And I believe the timeout was called. Yes, Celtics got a timeout. Bosh is hot. Oh, Bosh is lucky he's not going to. He did get a technical. Bosh.
He was right in that the timeout was called after what should have been a jump ball.
Bosh did a good job defensively. And then his reaction gets him a technical foul. He's got to be careful here. See, that's not just sole Boston possession right there. Bosh did an excellent job, but it will be Celtics ball with 1:49 remaining. Second quarter. A heated game between Boston and Miami. What a surprise.